sorry. I'm Dwight Fanton, and I chair Department of Public Works. And could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Fanton?
Here.
Mr. Ricky? Mr. Barnes? Mr. Curran? Mr. Dibble?
Here.
Mr. Graves? Mr. Healy? Mr. Crandall? 6 members present, 2 absent.
Thank you. I'd like to get a motion for the approval of the minutes for May 5th. Could I have a motion? Mr. Ricky, seconded by Mr. Dibble. Is there any additions or corrections on this? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's carried. Okay, Highway, Justin.
Good afternoon. DPW is seeking acceptance and appropriation of federal and state aid for County Route 16 over Black Creek in the town of Birdsville.
Could I get a motion for that? Moved by Mr. Healy, seconded by Mr. Ricky. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried.
DPW is seeking approval of the supplemental agreement number 2 with New York State DOT for the County Route 16 bridge project in the town of Birdsville.
Could I get a motion for that? Motion by Mr. Dibble, seconded by Mr. Ricky. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried.
DPW is requesting authorization for the Public Works Superintendent to negotiate and enter into road use agreements with private entities.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Graves, seconded by Mr. Ricky. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. That's opposed. That's carried. Okay.
DPW is seeking permission and funding to enter into an agreement with Hunt Engineering to perform a space needs analyst and cost estimate for the DPW Friendship Shop project.
Moved by Mr. Healy, seconded by Mr. Ricky. Discussion on this? Yes, Mr. Decker.
Question for the committee. This study for the scope of services. Sorry. This study for the scope of services performed by Hunt, they're also allowed to bid the project to do the work?
If the project would be approved, they are part of that, yeah. But this initial one is just the study that they're going to do and look it over, so.
Does that need to be offered competitively?
This is a professional service, this part of it. This is engineering, so we are not going to be putting this out for bid. So this is consistent with what we've done in the past for these sorts of projects. We've been working with Hunt for a long time, and I believe we do trust them to do the space needs study for us.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Mr. Healy? You want to put your mic on, please? It's not on. Oh, there you
There you
go.
go. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is long overdue, and I'm glad to see what we're moving ahead with this project. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just add, we did do a tour of the facility by the legislators, and I believe that was educational for a very many numbers of us. I mean, I had been there before, but some of them hadn't. So it was an eye-opener to what we've had to deal with over the last 20 or 30 years at that facility. I mean, that originally was it was even an old railroad facility, if I remember right. So we've made really good use of what was there, and so I think it's time that we took a look at what we need to do to get up to this century. Anybody else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's carried.
DPW is seeking permission to award to Clean Harbors Environmental Service the contract for the Household Hazardous Waste Day.
So moved?
So moved by Mr. Graves, second by Mr. Ricky. Discussion?
We've used this firm before, right, Justin?
Correct, yep,
So we have a history with them.
yep.
Yeah, they do a great job for us. Okay, anybody else? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried.
DPW is requesting permission to fill the grounds worker position.
I get a motion on that. Motion by Mr. Ricky, second by Mr. Graves. Discussion on that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried. Old business. New business?
I had a couple items for new business today. The first thing is we took bids for parking lot sealing last week, and we went through the numbers, and DPW is seeking permission to award the bid for sealing of parking lots to Amherst Sealer. I believe I got this information to everyone in the committee. If anyone's missing anything,
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Graves, second by Mr. Ricky. Noted, this is, we only had one bid on this particular.
And it's within
Project.
budget.
yes, yep, Amherst Sealer was the sole bidder.
And you have faith and confidence in them to do a good job?
That's all I don't.
I'm in favor of it.
Anybody else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's carried. What else, Justin?
I also wanted to give a committee a quick update on the CHIPS funding and DPW's planned highway work this year. Recently, in the month of May, we received official paperwork from New York State DOT that awards us our CHIPS funding. We have a total of 4.8 million in funding this year. That is, compared to typical years past, it's 3.2. So that's a considerable increase in funding this year. Part of that was the 95% reimbursal of the 20% they withheld last year, but they also increased the overall funding. So with that said, we kind of tweaked what we had planned this year, and for the first time ever for me, we have money, but we can't find contractors willing to do the work because everyone's busy right now. But taking that into account, we did switch. Previously, we discussed having 27B and County Route 43 on the planned work this year. We're on hold with those projects and are going to move to County Route 15 and perform work on that road for an 8-mile section from where we left off 2 years ago down to past the bridge that we're currently working on. The reason for this decision was this is a high-dollar project. We finally have the money where we can tackle this, and it's a more highly traveled road, so it was deemed more beneficial to the county, and we'll hold off the other projects until we can find someone willing to do the work.
Anybody else? Any questions? Yes, Phil?
Not a question, but just compliment. Last year, remember, because of the cuts and money, we never did County Road 49, but that has been done already. It is beautiful. So kudos to getting the money back and getting the work done.
Yeah. Very good. Go to the order.
Mr. Chairman, as it appears there's no further business to conduct, I move we adjourn.
Thank you, Carl. A second by Mr. Ricky. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.